Good morning, everyone, and welcome to ISCO 2020. We're so happy that we're actually starting the whole Congress off. I'm very happy to have Galit with us to start the whole thing off. So yeah, here we are. It's the International Shiatsu Congress online, 3 days of Shiatsu fun, we hope, around the world. So just say hi in the chat. And yeah, Galit, I was just wondering why you chose this topic. Why do you think it's so important for us?
Oh, so we will open with energy management for therapists. And my original topic was different, was pregnancy, and I wanted to change it because as I see things, we really need to, or we want to resonate well-being and abundance and connection inwards to ourselves in order to resonate it to the rest of the world. Because the situation now is that people like putting the weight on the fear maybe or stress, and energy management is the best way to, to start a new concept, a new behavior.
I'm totally with you on that. I think you're absolutely right. That's fantastic. Okay, so I know you've got lots of practical exercises for us. I'm going to take part in them, obviously.
Yeah.
So whenever you're demonstrating, we'll just spotlight you on the video. But here's your slide. So, yep, take it away.
Okay. Wow, thank you. Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Galit Shaviv, and I'm practicing Shiatsu since the year of 1992. Happy to be with among the other dinosaurs here that are practicing like decades
for that.
of Shiatsu. And in the last 15 years, I've been teaching and practicing Chi Ed Modi Shiatsu method. You see the logo here. And one main pillars of this method is the well-being of the therapist, meaning that I realized that when I was looking at my colleagues, I realized that most of us are exhausted. And if I would go to my best friend and ask for a treat, he would go, "Oh no, not today, maybe tomorrow." So we really kind of treating, and something was suspicious to my eyes. So when we built the basis of this method, so one pillar is a very, very accurate Japanese punctual technique, which is, of course, essential. The other is knowing the energy field in which we are active, and the third pillar is the self-development of the therapist, mentally, consciously, but also exercises that keep the therapist healthy is in the basis of the method. Now, I just want to say something. I'm broadcasting from Israel, and hi everyone. And of course, English is not my mother tongue, so I'm kind of excited, even though I have a lot of experience of teaching in English. Hi, Finland, in which we've been there for the last 8 years also. So if I'm going
to get stuff in the chat from Finland. You've got some people from Finland in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Hi, hey, Mia's here. Hey, I can see some. Okay, good morning. Huomenta, everyone. So so if my English is stuck, please forgive me.
I can understand everything. Maybe just speak a little bit slower, because don't forget, a lot of people also have English as their second language, so they may, like you to speak a little bit slower.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to deal with energy management for therapists, and you see this headline that is said everything is interwoven. So I chose this value to realize that everything is interwoven to emphasize the importance that it's very, very significant to broadcast well-being, and also recognizing the inner abundance, and to see that everything that we do resonates to everything, a resonance to the rest of the world. And I'm looking at my notebook from sometimes. So we will observe how everything is connected with everything else, how my consciousness and my awareness is reflecting my body and creating bodily habits that really affect the treatments. So it's very important to understand at first that if I'm not managing my energy well, it will affect the treatment. The treatment will be different because we are working on energy fields through the physical body, but basically on the energetic field. And in the chi world, you cannot hide anything. Everything is transparent. And once we're taking responsibility on our consciousness, on our awareness, and on our well-being, then it reflects on everything else, and also magnetizing, attracts other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are we going to do today? Energy management. So consciousness, awareness, and manifestation. We're going to actually deal with all those three topics, of course, very shortly. I could speak about it like a month, but yeah, I'm really happy with what we have. So what are we going to discuss and practice? First thing, what is energy management? What does it mean? What does it mean practically? What does it mean consciously? And then we're going to discuss about shiatsu as connecting all fields of expression, meaning that when we treat shiatsu, the mental body is reflected, the emotional body is reflected, the physical body, of course, and the energetical body. I'm going to see that all the bodies of expressions are connected and affected. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to play some games with recognizing consciousness, self-awareness that creates exhaustion. Exhaustion is just an example. It has many, many effects, but we're going to deal with exhaustion for just to take an example to see why actually therapists are exhausted. This is a good question to explore. And then we will embrace new principles. Of course, that will you will have to take those principles, maybe screen print them and contemplate and go and practice them afterwards at home. And then in the end, we will practice basics in the movement that reflect this kind of new principles and actions. Okay? Okay. So let's go. Let's go in. So I will begin with the obvious. I'm stating the obvious. This is a quote from one article from my website. Of course, you are welcome to peep there. It's not that big, but yeah. So therapists are sensitive beings, physically, emotionally, energetically, aware, and at the same time exposed to the energy of everybody who's in touch with them. Naturally patient with difficult life experience. Therapists must know well the fields in which they act in order to rejuvenate chi or recycle it back to the ground. Many therapists suffer from exhaustion and physical disorders caused by lack of understanding how to manage their own chi. So this is the obvious. I know that everybody of us know it. And I want to say that when I studied shiatsu, and I assume this is the case in most of the schools, we learn the techniques, we learn the theory, but we do not learn how to deal with the energy, which is the substance that we are working with. So there's like glimpse or hints or some hunches, but methodically, it is lacking. So that is why we see shiatsu therapists that do not use the futon anymore. They work on the bed. Here in Israel, it's very common that after a few years, you have like knee problem or wrist problem and you work on the bed. So I don't know how it is in England or in other places, but basically the aim is to keep us healthy. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
So what will we not discuss? Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so this is where I come here and pointing my fingers to everyone that is watching.
You're very strict, Galu. You're very strict with us.
Yeah, we're known. Okay, so get regular, professional, paid treatment. Okay? Put in your budget some for you. You have to go to a professional therapist to get a treatment. It can be monthly, it can be weekly, it can be, I don't know how much you can put on it, but if I don't put my body in the futon, I can really not treat people. I have to walk my talk. I have to always continuously remember how the patient is feeling, what is to be a patient, and what is to receive a treatment. Okay?
Yeah.
2, eat well, exercise. I'm not going to discuss it. We all have many, many agendas and various agendas. Just do it. And this is the ground. He's laughing.
Save the planet as well. Go plant-based.
Yeah. Yeah. Personally, I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Then get constant professional inspiration. Go and learn from a teacher. Have a teacher. The energy always must flow towards you and from you. And once we are closed in our own agendas or methods and we're not learning from other people, then energy is stuck. So get a teacher. And it doesn't matter what a teacher, Aikido teacher, yoga teacher, whatever, okay? But always be in a surrounding of people that know a little bit better than you about something, okay?
Yep.
4, do not overload your schedule. Take time gaps. Nothing to say about
I never
that.
do that.
What?
I never do that.
Okay.
Do I, Sakura?
That's why you look like that. Yeah, we discussed his young appearance the other day.
Yeah.
Okay, and then intercorrelate with your working environment. And this is important. I'm getting close to the camera again. Your environment that you are working in is a living entity. It is a changing, constant, reacting environment that correlates with you. So it's not like a room that you put your foot on and you just go there and when you leave. Be in a vivid, alive connection with your room, with your environment. Change it from a time to time. See how the relations between the things that you have in the room change. I do it all the time. Put in your room meaningful things. For example, in my clinic, there are small things that were given to me from people that I want their energy to be in the room. Okay, so it's like a sanctuary, and it's really, really important. It's not like a girlish designer's thing. It's a relationship with your environment. And we're talking about that everything is interwoven. So my personal environment is very, very important. And I would say that with the biggest humbleness, that everybody that comes into my clinic, they stop and they say, what is going on here? What kind of energy and frequency is here? Because I'm always reloading the energy in my space, okay?
Okay.
But we're not going to talk about that. So,
no, we didn't talk about that at all, did we? We didn't mention it.
So,
do you want to the poll? Do you want to launch the first
so
poll?
don't want to be treated with one's reserves of energy, right? So it means that imagine that you have the best therapist in your neighborhood, best, but you know that she didn't sleep at night, or he didn't. He was arguing with his family in the morning, and they feeling exhausted, and they want to give you, they want to treat you, but they're going to give you their reserves. They're not going to give you the vital energy. And think about it. Do you want to get treatment from somebody's reserves? The answer is no. I want to get a treatment from somebody who's full, who's vivid, who is illuminating, you know? So so just put yourselves in the place of your patients and see that you don't want to give what is coming out from the container, not on the account of our container, okay? Let's see that we are a container, just what is coming out of it, floating. How do you say not floating? Yeah, you understood?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so
okay, do you want to launch the first poll?
Yeah, let's make a poll.
Are you tired after clinic? Is that the one you want to launch?
Yeah, so do you have it? You're going to do it for me.
Yep, we got it. Yep, I'm going to share that now.
Okay.
Here we go.
So So,
are you tired after clinic? Have you physical issues as a result from shiatsu or absorb the patient's ki? Not at all. Rarely it happens.
interesting.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Good. I think the
Only
situation
about
is
a
good.
quarter of the people who are responding actually never less than a quarter. So 3/4, it either happens sometimes or it happens, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
it is a
good.
very common thing.
I think that is it's a good result.
Yep, you definitely got the right topic then.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Brilliant. Okay, good.
Thank you. Okay, so let's go into the consciousness that is defining us as the givers. Okay, so we are defining ourselves by the giving. Of course we are. We are therapists, and the giving or the treating is defining our identity, defining our value in the eyes of ourselves. So everything is connected. Yes, we know, but yet do we apply? And this is something that I came across many years ago, and I wanted to present to you. So it's a saying of Rabbi Ashlag, one of the rabbis that lived, I don't know, a few hundred years ago or something. So the first level of a baby is get in order to get. The motivation is to get in order to get, and this is a very primal and getting in order to get, okay? So the second level is give in order to get. I'm giving, but I want to get something in return. And let's sample the energy that is in me when I give and I expect, okay? So this is another level. Just let's sample it. Let's see how it feels to us. And then the third level is give in order to give. I give in order to give. And this is something that is really kind of rooted in our society and rooted in the religion and rooted in the values of morality. Give in order to give is something that we're educated to. And then get in order to give. So let's talk about it. Get in order to get is just something that is kind of selfish, you know, that you really need and you want to get in order to get. I don't think we're at all in this section. And then there is give in order to get. So this level means that I want something. I want, except for example, money or appreciation. Sometimes it gives me the satisfaction of helping other people. Sometimes it gives me that I belonging to the good people in the world. Sometimes I feel that I want to get better, like a good profession, or a high standard, or something that I get from the action to give. And this is more likely that we can see in ourselves. That I want to say that we're not black or white, or we're not like this or this or this or this. We have everything inside of us, and sometimes we're like this and sometimes we're like this. But the main thing is to observe and to know what is my motivation. Now let's talk about the third one. Give in order to give is one of the biggest mistakes of understanding of how energy works in the world. Because in our society, in our religion, in our traditions, the giver, the ones who make the sacrifice, the mother who feeds the kids before she feeds herself, wrong. Why? Because that's how you get yourself empty. And if you're empty, you cannot give to anyone. So it's not a chance that in the planes, when they tell you to put the oxygen mask, what do they tell you? To put it first on yourself. To put it first on yourself. And when you look at nature films and you see the wolves in the forest and they're hungry, the mother wolf will firstly feed herself. So give in order to give is a moral mistake that created generations of victims of giving too much because of ideas, because of beliefs, because of agendas. And this is really creating imbalance. Because if I give and I give, then I'm the good one. I'm the righteous one. I'm in the positive side. But this is actually, and I'm coming again very close to the camera, this is, איך אומרים פנייה כנגד עצמי?
It's against yourself.
You are then against yourself.
Yeah.
When you're against yourself, you're against everything. We can never be against ourselves. So when I'm not nourished, I'm against myself. You know, I just put an X on myself. I'm not important. I will eat after. I haven't, you know, these therapists that don't drink, don't eat the whole day, they forgot, they just, 4 in the afternoon, they treated like 5 people and they haven't eaten yet. I know many people like that. So this is a false concept. So get in order to give is the right movement. Like a tree, like everything that is in the world. Like if you see the smallest cell and the biggest galaxy, the energy will always be of intercorrelations. Energy will never get stuck one direction. It will always be multiple directions. Okay? So we have the second pole.
Yes, we're going to find out now which one of the 4 is your motivation. Okay, here it is. So which would you say your motivation is then? People are being very honest. They're not all clicking number 4, which is what I would do. They're being very, very honest.
Yeah, but I'm really, really happy from the results here. It's really beautiful.
40% of people are get in order to give. And I think that's very honest of those 33% of people who actually feel that they're giving in order to give. So that's interesting, isn't it? That's a really good self-reflection on our motivation, isn't it?
Yeah.
And look, 0% get in order to get. So there we are. We're not doing too bad.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it. Yeah, and it's, you know, we can change it like that, you know, it's just attention.
It's the awareness, isn't it? The awareness.
Yeah.
It's all about awareness. Yeah, brilliant.
So let's get
I've learned something already.
Sorry? Yeah.
I've learned something already, and it's not even 9 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah. Yeah, good for us. Okay, let's go to the consciousness level. Okay, so what is the secret of a successful therapist? Fully booked clinic, including Corona days. There is the situation, but my reality is always a reflection of my inner reality. So what is the secret? Is it professional, educated, professional and educated? Of course it is. Of course I have to get education. Of course I have to be professional and work and study from the best people I can get and practice and be professional. But is it enough to get a fully booked clinic? I don't think so. Good marketing is also a good point, but will not do the job. And then we see that there's transparency in the key world, and then we can't hide anything. Means that if I am feeling in stress and fear, it will reflect on my calendar. It will reflect on the booking average. Okay, so we will go to it soon. So concept that we hold affects our motivation and motion in the world. And we will check in a few minutes for examples of this consciousness. So what creates the attraction? What creates the attraction to people to come to my clinic? So just to close the former subject, big no-nos. We are not containing anything. We're not keeping anything. Okay? We do not give energy, and we're not feeling someone's lack. We're not feeling kyo. We're not feeling lackness or shu. We're not doing that. We don't make sacrifice. We don't overtime. We don't take somebody when we don't have any more containment to take another treatment. So there are many big no-nos that are included in that. Okay, so let's move. So the main characters, the actors in treatment and life, are 3 aspects Consciousness, what is the consciousness that is the basis to my action? Awareness, how do I see myself relating that? And technique, how this applies to my treatment. Let me, for just 1 minute, explain the difference between consciousness and awareness, because people confuse those. Consciousness is something that is existing outside of me. It's existing in the realm. Meaning, for example, there is now consciousness of fear from corona, okay, or stress from corona. It is in the collective consciousness. There is called consciousness. The field of consciousness contains many things and aspects, and also it's divided to frequency levels. There are many realities in our realities, and we can find consciousness of fear and also consciousness of abundance and connection. The field of consciousness is very wide, okay? And we can attract or connect aspects in it. I hope it's clear. Is it, Cliff?
Yep,
okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So awareness, how do I see myself relating that? So am I stressed? Am my awareness, my self-awareness is stressed because of the corona or in fear? Or do I know that I influence, so I try to be in abundance or welfare in order to resonate? So my awareness is the connection between me and the consciousness. And then there is the practical, how this applies to my treatment.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so let's start to play with the consciousness, the basis for my actions. So let's dive into it. Life, the consciousness, okay? Life is a burden. It's on my shoulders. There are not enough resources to everyone. One thing comes on the account of the other. If I do meditation, I cannot treat, or the other. In order to achieve, one needs to make effort. Yeah, only with effort we succeed. Life is a competition. Okay, so let's just go through this consciousness and contain it to see how it reflects on our awareness. So it creates self-consciousness of burden. I feel it on my shoulders. Effort, lacking, exhaustion, I'm tired or weak, and identification with the story, mine or the others. My bank account looks like this, my patient was fired from the work, and etc., etc. Sacrifice, relying my worth on feedback or success. Yeah, this is very important, because when we are lacking, or when we feel that there is not enough resources, or one thing comes on the account of the other, if I have like 5 treatments a day, I feel worthy. I'm relying on it. And then also illness is the enemy. Okay, illness is the enemy, comes from the consciousness that life is a struggle, life is hard, is a burden. And then it creates body effort. Of course, it will reflect in a discomfort, in body aches, in self-neglecting, absorbing, leaking symptoms and exhaustion. This is the and guys, this is really like in the street. This is really common. Patients who came to my clinic just this week were coming into the door and complaining, this is bad, and this is bad, and this is bad. And when we started to unfold it, we saw that it's not that bad. It's just a perspective. Okay, so let's go to the other. Okay, so
Pole 3.
Yeah, pole 3. Observe ourselves honestly. What exists in my life? And remember, we don't argue with reality. When I say that, I mean that if I feel that I lack, there is a field of lackness that exists in me that reflects on reality. So don't argue with it. If something comes to your reality, it means that it exists in your inside consciousness or inside awareness. So let's see the third pole.
This poll is the hardest hitting poll we've ever delivered on new energy work, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's very hard hitting. You take no prisoners. This is a really so you need to read through all these options very carefully. Life is a burden. The world is on my shoulders. Life is a struggle and competition. Wealth is limited. There's not enough for everyone. I'm defected, weak, people can't change themselves. I can only rely on myself.
I can only rely on myself is very, very common with the therapist, because it's connected with the ability to be in intercorrelations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Basically making sorry. Partnerships, working in partnerships. Yeah. And we are like solo players. And this is really amazing that this is what happens, that I can only rely on myself. There's no one to count on. Let's see what is good. Life is a burden, the world is on my shoulders. Life is a struggle and competition. Thank you for everybody that is answering. This is really beautiful.
Very honest of people, I must say, but certainly I can only rely on myself is definitely the most popular choice, with well over 65% of the respondees. There we are.
So that, you know what it means, Cliff? It means that the therapist feeling lonely. They feel alone. They're not feeling connected. This is really important, because we're talking that everything is interwoven and we are connected to each other, and the consciousness is connected. So this result makes me understand that people are feeling more lonely than I figured.
But we can help them, can't we, Galit?
Of course. Let's do it. We're on. Thank you everyone for sharing. This is really, really important and beautiful.
Yeah. It's really lovely to.
Okay, let's see the consciousness that can be really beneficial for us. The realization consciously that everything is interwoven and connected. Energy moves continuously. Abundance is in nature and available by demand. It's not for the luckiest ones or the hard workers. It's by demand. If I am demanding, then it will come to me. Asking or connecting to it. Giving, receiving is the law of nature. Energy will always go and move in nature from one thing to another. So we don't have to create energy. I don't have to get vacation or sleep or eat in order to get energy. Energy is everywhere, and we can connect it by simply recognizing that. Okay, so this is the consciousness. What does it create? It creates self-consciousness of, I am in synchronization with everything. Nothing comes on the account of another. I am in connection with all, in communication with the high potential of healing, which is called Seiki in many methods. Recognizing the abundance within me. I recognize the abundance within me. So this consciousness, reflecting on my self-awareness, is by the realization that I am connected. I am connected to the abundance. I am synchronized with everything. I am recognizing my inner wealth or abundance. And I always recognize the vivid, everlasting divine spark that is called Seiki, that is not disturbed by any human or social or whatever action. Life is always there, and it's the strongest thing that we know. It's the strongest thing, okay? So it will create comfort and minimal effort in my actions. When I really take this and put it on my body movement, it will create rejuvenation. It will create honesty and transparency, and therefore lightness. And therefore, and this is the most important thing, my friends, effective treatment and healthy therapist. The effectiveness of the treatment is not the knowledge. It's the consciousness that we hold within us. What we can really apply within this hour of treatment. Or I treat for 1 hour. I don't know how much you. So 1 hour is my limit. Yeah, never.
Oh, really? Oh, I used to do that when I was younger.
Yeah, well,
I did like 20 or 30 years of that on the hour, but then I switched to 1 hour and 15 minutes, and that was like, yeah, that seems so much time. And now, of course, with the virus, we have to clean up and everything, so we allow 1.5 hours, 15 minutes for cleaning. But yeah, no, I used to do that on the hour, you know, like bang,
Yeah,
bang, bang.
it's
And then
yeah.
I like to take it a little bit easy. I like to look after myself,
Yeah.
you know.
I take 15 minutes gap between every session. So
You do, right?
the
Yeah.
treatment is 1 hour and then 15 minutes off, and then.
Oh yes, so exactly. So we're doing the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I can share something that is private, but not private, the amount of liquids that go out from my body after one treatment, even though I've drank 1 liter, it's unbelievable, because really the water cleans up everything that is in there, and then there's always a chance to open up the windows and make some refreshments between one treatment and the other.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, do we contain that? Is it containable, this section? Because it's really important to me, because now.
Yeah, that's totally, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you definitely hit it. It's definitely, it kind of all fits together. How we look at our whole attitude, how we bring ourselves into the whole space, you know, the space itself and everything. It's all so important, isn't it?
Okay.
And I think I'm totally with you. I mean, I think we have a responsibility, don't we, to model a healthy approach to things, because we are energy workers, and that's really the highest form of medicine, really, is to just be as well as you can, and that will radiate out, you know.
Yeah, this is very accurate. Means that yeah, in the key world, yeah, as we said, everything is transparent, and as we
look
realize,
at Western medicine, the doctors are one of the most unhealthy professions. You know, they're often alcoholics. They have terrible health. You know, there's something fundamentally wrong with that, because it's not reflexive. It doesn't demand that you work on yourself. Whereas with energy work, it demands that we work on ourselves, and if we don't, then we get into trouble.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the most beneficial and the most dangerous at the same time.
Yeah.
And then
so you're going to show us soon how we can do it.
Just now we're going into the practical part, friends. So thank you for containing the theoretical background, and we're going to do now some practical some, you know, it takes for me, it takes a long time to teach it and to absorb it, but we will just go to the principles, few of the principles that we use. Okay, so I have a beautiful model in here, which is my daughter. She will come and lie on the mattress here. Say hi to everybody. Yali, hundreds are watching.
Hi. Hey.
Okay. Okay.
Fantastic. Do you want to talk a little bit more about this?
I'm going to talk about it a bit, and then we're going to practice it. So we're talking about new habits that are leaning on this consciousness that we have talked about. So first, and to my eyes, you can really photo shoot this slideshow. I think it's really important to just have it in front of you all the time. So open gateways, keep them open, and I'm talking about the crown center and of course the root center, which are the gateways that keeps us between heaven and earth. Meaning, basically, humans are between heaven and earth. The energy from the heaven goes through the human to the earth, and vice versa. So acknowledging it, being aware of the gates open, keeps us in the state of get in order to give. And also it's the basis for rejuvenation and the basis of non-identification, and I will explain. Okay, so okay, so this is one thing. Just 1 minute. Got confused. Yeah, that is the right one. Okay. Okay, so the right one, 6 principles, and it's the same. Okay, so I will go from the start. Sorry.
Okay.
So first one is recognition of unification. What does it mean, the value of unification? It means that we are recognizing that we are basically intercorrelated fields. Everything in creation is fields that are connected with the core and the border of the field, like a cell, but the cell is always connected with the rest. So when a patient comes to my clinic, we're not separated. We're not one, we're not equal, but we're not separated. The recognition of unification, it cancels separation, cancels, I know, and she doesn't know. She's sick and I'm well. And everything is resonating. So this is kind of approach that encourages צניעות, איך אומרים? Humbleness.
Yeah.
Humbleness. Somebody is coming to my clinic. I'm humble enough to realize that they resonate on me and I resonate on them, that we are actually interconnected, okay? So everything is resonating. Movement is permanent. There's nothing stuck. Movement is always there. And this is very, very important to understand, because sometimes when people tell the stories, we're kind of blocking them in our view. But things are moving all the time. This is the only permanent thing, So movement is permanent. Then body movement should be synchronized, I will explain, reversible, measured, bouncing, and less is more. Let me explain this because this is really important. When I am in synchronized with things, then it means that also within me, there is synchronized movement, meaning that if one hand is, for example, pressing more than the other, I'm talking about Ho and Sha, okay? If one is pressing more and the other is pressing less, if it's not like 100% synchronized, there will be stagnation in my movement. And I will give another example. When I'm talking about, I'm not stepping on her. When I'm talking about reverse, can you see me?
Galit, I've got an idea. Why don't we switch you? We'll switch to you demonstrating, and then we can come back to the slides in a minute, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what I wrote there. Synchronized, reversible, measured. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, let's just highlight you,
Okay.
and then maybe you can come back to the slides. There we are. Yeah.
Okay, so when I'm talking about synchronization, it's not only in my mind. I want to make a movement that is synchronized, meaning when I make a shiatsu movement, for example, like this, my hands are synchronized with my legs. My tanden is synchronized with my chest. Everything is moving together and coming back. Together. This is highly, highly important, because when I put emphasis on synchronization, then I'm connecting with the movement that existing, that is already is. And one other thing, when I'm doing synchronized movement, I will never go over. My movement will always be, I wrote bouncing. I meant that when I'm doing too much movement, I cannot go back from that. This is not reversible. You see what I mean? I'm doing over. So I want to practice on a movement that will not be 100%. It will be 70%. It will be from here and then reversible to here and then reversible to here. But if I will do this and then I will do this, then the edges keep me away from my center. And my center is the thing that is controlling my movement. My center is the one that is pulling me back. I want to be in contact all the time with my core. So synchronizing movement. I'm good. Reversible, meaning not too much. Yeah, when I can recognize in few seconds people who make too much giving in their lives by the shiatsu movement. When students are coming to me and they make a movement, I can see from the movement if they're overgivers. So practice in your shiatsu exactly movement that you can come back from. Exactly that you can come back from. Okay, so this is the second principle. Can we go back to the thing, Cliff? Yeah. Okay, so tanden awareness, tanden parallel to ground or up and down. So this is really important because usually we're talking about being on the center or walking with the hara, yes, but actually the center of everything in the universe is defining the borders. The ability to go to or to expand ourselves is always connected with the connection with the core. So if I give an example here, and relating to the other, if I go over movement, then I lost my tandem just now. That did something like that. When I keep my tandem parallel to ground, I will never do overgiving. It will stop in the minute that it will end the motion of being parallel to ground. I would be really happy if you could remember that, because if the tandem will do something diagonal like this, we will lose the tsuba, we will lose the energetic connection with the tsuba, but also we will be overgiving. And also, if I may ask my model, this kind of a movement is much more felt energetically in her body. And if I do this, she will complain, she's contracting, okay? But when I'm doing this parallel to ground and back with synchronization, I will always stop in the right moment. I will always stop in the place that the chi is expanding, okay? Next. We will practice it in a second. And then we have grounding, kidney meridians, awareness to kidney 1. This is really, really important, friends. Please understand. The kidney meridians job, among other jobs, is to ground the energy. When we are keeping connection, imagining ki going along the kidney meridian and grounding through the kidney 1, and this is something you can take for a week, for, I don't know, a month to remember while you're working. It will really not keep anything in your field. So I do it like that, something I learned from my teachers. I do it with this, you know, my kidney is always open. So I work like this, and in that way, when I'm working, I always imagine the energy going through the kidney meridian to kidney 1. And this is really kind of, and you know that I can show something that I can ask my husband to come here, because when I'm connected to my kidney like that, and I will ask him to push me, come and push me. He cannot push, he cannot move me. Use your best strength. But if I'm not connected to my yeah, so I'm really kind of taking off my roots. So basically, the connection to the kidney meridian really helps us to rejuvenate and ground, but also be very, very stable. Okay? Next, open gates we talked about, and then chi body borders, imagine tsubo beyond the physical body. And this is the last principle I want to share with you, that we are not working on the physical body, we're working on the energetical body, okay? So when I'm working and I'm focusing here, she will feel that the energy is here, it's here. But if I lift my gaze and I think broadly on the energy field, the energy will expand. She will feel the expansion from the tsubo. When I do this, it's very different than this. Okay, so remember always to imagine the body beyond the physical body. Okay? I hope that it's clear. Let's do it together. So let's take the 5 minutes to practice it together.
Okay, that's great. Do you want to lead us through an exercise then? Talk it through.
Yeah. Would you like to do it?
Yeah,
or
I think probably what I'd love to do actually is, would you mind just giving me, if I do that leaning exercise, maybe you could look at my technique and just give me some feedback? I would love that, because it's so rare that I get feedback on my own work. So I just wondered if I put my camera up here.
Yeah.
That's it. And then, can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay. So what should I do? Should I just do a very simple crawling movement? And you can see what I'm doing.
I can see it perfectly. That's overlapping in like 20%, as you noticed.
Okay, what's that? Overlapping, going too far?
Yeah, that's it. This is where you have to stop. And then what I really recommend you is to fold your toes. Can you do it?
Like this?
Yeah, because that's where you will feel much more connected to your center and to your kidney meridian.
Okay, great. Okay.
Okay, so let's do it from
Let's try it again.
Okay, that's
About
it.
there.
And back.
If I go further,
yeah,
I'm overextending it. Yeah.
Yes, and I think you can sense it also.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And then there's another tip that you can use your elbow straightening movement. So if you're straightening your elbow during the movement, not beginning with it when it's locked, begin when it's folded. Then you go, and then that's it. Beautiful, and back, bouncing. So it means that the movement will always be reversible. It will always bounce. It will be energetic and not stuck. You know, the elbows are not stuck. This is beautiful. And can you, and then just one thing, remember to imagine the chi field and not to look down. Okay. So then look up. Yeah, more. Yeah, horizon is there, awaits for you.
The only thing I'm a bit worried about is blocking here. You know, if I took my head back too much, it might block here. Right. That's the only thing.
So just the eyes.
It's very interesting because Pauline Sasaki taught us a technique very similar to that, where we open up the peripheral vision. We keep the alignment, but we open the peripheral vision. That has the same effect of expanding the awareness, you know?
Yeah, because chi follows the gaze. This is very, very, chi follows our gaze. Where we look, there chi goes.
Yes.
So if we look down, we just block it down. And then when we look up, that's very good. And then can you be focused on your tanden, on your dantian?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay, here we go.
Okay, then parallel to ground. Parallel to ground. And when it stops being parallel, you're going back. That's it. Yeah. So and also when you're going back, Cliff, you don't have to go back all the way.
Okay.
Don't go back all the way. Stay up. Because this is the very, very economical movement. Oh, that I like it. Okay. Now I like it. Okay, so it's a very economical movement. And you don't go back all the way and you don't go forward all the way. You just stay in the middle, you know? Yeah. Very economical, very light, effortless movement. Thank you so much for offering.
I'm just experimenting with the angle of the head and the peripheral vision, because I can keep the alignment and open the peripheral vision. If I open up this way, it expands until I get to a point where I create tension here, and then it blocks it.
Yeah. Actually, it's really interesting. You know, I can see the exact moment when it gets into your shoulders. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, it's amazing.
So if I go back to the dantian, I'll focus more on the dantian again. Okay.
Okay.
Relaxed.
Yeah. So parallel to ground. Yeah, that's it. And then going back. And then that's it. Don't go back any further. Even less going back. So keep the movement right in the middle.
Yeah.
So there was one question from the audience.
Let's have a look at the questions.
Yeah, there's one question that can I put it on the table also? And I think you can practice those exercises standing, and then of course it's easier on the mattress because you have a real connection with the tanden. You have a real connection with the movement.
Yes.
But if I want to stand, so for example, I don't know if you see me like that. Can you see me? Yeah. So if I do this, I can practice synchronization and tandem parallel to ground. I do this and then go back, and this and then go back. Now, when I'm not When it's not parallel to ground, I will go here. Okay, I will lose my center. And when it's not synchronized, it might be here, but I want everything to move in synchronization. You can see it. So the answer to your question is yes, but it's harder because you have to practice while standing and then apply it to the bed. And
we've got another question here. Do you want to answer that? That's Jose asks, what is empty touch? Did you mention empty touch? I don't think you did you? No. I think that's another.
I don't know.
You don't know? No, I think that's another concept, which is again keeping space within the touch. But yeah, I didn't think that you mentioned that. Okay, great. So we've got believe it or not, we've just got 5 minutes left.
No, so let's go to the next slide. Where are the slides? So basically, if you can photo shoot it and practice it, and of course you can ask me questions as much as you want afterwards. Okay, did I read this? Let's read it just okay. So open. No,
sorry, that's my fault. I was.
It's okay. So open gateways, keep them open. We talked about it. Imagine your key field. Imagine the other key field, and acknowledge the connection and resonance that between us. Recognize unification. This is really important. This is the basis. And then synchronize body movement perfectly. And this is something to practice. Trust the movement. Keep it reversible and effortless. Straightening elbows is a good place to start. Because when we're straightening the elbows, and then we have this very reversible conscious movement. And then tandem parallel to ground. And in some shiatsu motions, we can do also up and down. But just practice parallel to ground to begin with. And then imagine kidney meridian, kidney 1, and then imagine tsubo and ki expanding beyond the physical body. So that's the practical part, and we're making the summary. Okay, so homework: investigate your habits and concepts, observing consciousness, observing awareness, observing body habits. I invite you to do it and to be honest with yourself and to see where you can improve. And then, just before we leave, be happy and wealthy with love and goodwill. Chin body crew. Chin Bobby.
Fantastic. I've just got one question here from Petra, which is, can you explain when to straighten the elbows again? So do you want to just demonstrate that?
Yeah, this is very, very important. Basically, if I do shiatsu and starting with my elbows locked and straight, then there is no motion. There is blockage of energy. I want to begin with folded elbows, and the motion will put me in the tsubo, will keep me in there. So basically, when I'm doing the motion, if I start with locked elbows, I have nowhere to go. It's locked. But when I start and it's folded, then I have where to go. Then my movement is very, very soft and synchronized. So this is very, very important. Also, ho and sha to the same depth. Ho and sha to the same depth, because if I'm doing straightening elbow, ho and sha will be on the same depth, and it has a tremendous effect on the tsubo reaction. You try it at home. Did I answer?
I couldn't quite hear what you were saying. Honsha, was it, or?
Yeah, same depth always.
And what did you call them? Hon?
Yeah, ho is the supporting hand,
ho.
And sha is the pressing hand, like the mother hand and the pressing hand. This is the Japanese terms for that.
Okay.
So they should always be like mom and dad. They're equally affecting. They're not one of them is weak and the other of them is pressing, because then it's not synchronized. Yin and yang should be synchronized. So when I do it, they're always same depth, same strength. I'm putting. Yeah. So of course there's a lot.
Yeah, look at that. It's great. And that's it. And that's our hour gone. I just want to say thank you so much. I've had so much fun, and it's so great to get feedback on your technique, and I'll definitely work on all those principles. I definitely will. It's really great to have some feedback. I'm definitely going to stay in the zone. I'm going to keep that kidney one connected, and I'm not going to overstretch either on the way there or on the way back.
Thank you so much.
You've been very strict with us, Galu.
Of course.
I love it.
You have.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Then I can be soft, you know, when I'm strict, then I can be
Of
soft.
course, yeah, of course. No, you're very, very lovable as well. I'm just kidding you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I wish everybody a really good time and an enriching time, and
it's lovely.
Keep well and healthy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, great.
Bye
so
bye.
If you just log off, Galu, and then we'll see if we can get Dan on for the next one. And in the meanwhile, we could put the tea break slide up. So that was the lovely Galit, Shaviv, and now it's a 15-minute tea break, and we'll be back at 10:15 European time for Dr. Dan Keown. We're hoping that he can join us in the next 15 minutes. So, have a little bit of a break, get some air, and we'll be back very soon.